Welcome everyone, I'm Scott aka Wildkarde. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I got some of the finer details on my Mass Effect N7 armor. Specifically in this video I'm going to be showing you how I got the beveled edges here on these parts. Alright, let's get started. Alright, for this project you're going to need a piece of foam. This is the 10mm half-inch foam that you can get from Harbor Freight or any hardware store. You're going to need to have it left the length of the foam that it comes out of the pack. The width doesn't really matter, just give yourself a decent amount left over. You need a laminate piece of wood, about ½ inch thick. I happen to have this left over in my shop, but you can get this at any hardware store in the organizational section as a pre-cut, pre-laminated shelf. You need a scrap piece of wood, cut to the same length as your laminate piece of wood. You're going to need a couple clamps, some hot glue, a sharp blade of your choice, a straight edge, a heat gun, a hand router. This is a DeWalt fixed-spaced hand router. You're also going to need some router bits with a bearing on them. Don't use the ones that don't have a bearing. You're going to need the bearing to get a smooth glide. I picked these up at Harbor Freight for about $20. Come in a bunch of different sizes. These all have 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/8, and ½ inch roundovers on them. So these are all roundover router bits. You're also going to need your Dremel tool with a stone bit on it for a little bit of finishing at the end. And of course, some safety equipment. All right. And last but not least, all these leftover scrap pieces of the edges of your foam floor mats that we all seem to just rip off and throw away. Finally, a good use for these. So let's get started. You can see here some of the beveled edges I did on this armor. Now I'm going to show you guys how I made the jig to make these bevels. Alright, we're going to start by taking our laminate wood. We'll take our scrap piece of wood that is cut to the same length. We're just going to line it up here on the edge. We're going to take our clamps. And we're going to clamp it each side to each edge of the wood. Like so. Nice and easy. Now we're going to take our foam and one of our leftover strips. We're going to go ahead and put it back into the foam. Alright. You notice the foam lines up right with the guide that we just clamped on. Now it's time for the hot glue. A little bit of glue. We're going to go ahead and put it back far enough so we're not going to glue that new strip that we just put back into the foam. We don't want to glue that down. We just want to glue the larger piece of foam down. So a little bit of hot glue. And we're going to line this right up to the wood. Like that. I'm going to let that sit down. I'm going to let that dry. Now while that's drying, we're going to take our clamps off. Alright, remove our scrap piece of wood. Now we've got a jig. Now we've got this nice piece of laminate for our router, for the bearing on our router to go ahead and run across so as not to dig into the foam. Now you'll notice that I have set the depth on my router to just right at the top of the bit. So I get a nice smooth round over. Okay? Now let's go ahead and route this thing. Put our safety equipment on. right, you'll notice we got a really, really nice beveled edge going here. Now, if the router bit makes it a little bit fuzzy, that's when we take our Dremel with the stone bit and we come in and we just kind of take off the little fuzzies. That didn't happen on this particular one, so I don't need to do that. Now while it's clamped down, take our heat gun and apply a lot of heat. There we go. Nice smooth bevel. Then we go ahead and take our straight edge and our nice sharp knife. And we go ahead and cut this off to any depth you'd like. So however deep you'd like it to be, it doesn't really matter anymore. It's totally up to you. So we'll go ahead and cut that off. So we'll turn this so I can use it. All right. And there we have it. Nice beveled edge on our foam. Then you can use your barge or whatever adhesive you use, and you can go ahead and attach it to either the edge of your foam or to the bottom side, or however you'd like to do it. So you can apply more heat to make it smoother. You can use different size bits to have different roundovers. You can set the depth gauge on your router to make it have different depths, different whatever you'd like. Use different bits, doesn't really matter. But the point is, now you've got this jig made up. It sits in spade. Then you can go ahead and take this out. Get your next piece. Pop it in. And you're ready to route again. That was it, guys. Pretty simple. Not too difficult. It's a pretty simple jig you can make. Get you nice strips of beveled edges of foam. It's a great way to use up these little excess strips that we normally just throw away anyway. You can cut these as many strips as you want, and then you can bend them, you can move them, you can put them, make them to trace any edges of your foam. You can layer them up if you'd like to, like I did on my armor. So, hope that helps. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. You can follow some of my builds on Instagram. I'm at Wildkarde. Hope you like it. Feel free to leave a comment in the comments section. Have a great day.